buckle in, babes. Today we're gonna ride into some conscious kink, and today is kind of special for me too. When I was dreaming up guests for this podcast, I might get a little emotional because it's a little surreal moment for me. I was like, who are some like badass people, and experts in their field that I would love to have on? And Kimmy Inch is one of those. She's a renowned expert with 20 years of experience in the realm of intimacy, conscious kink, and unlocking your body's untapped erotic energy. Her work focuses on providing a safe and pleasure-filled space for exploring parts of ourselves that we rarely dare to look at. Unless you're probably tuning in. Or
I hope so.
Yeah, and I was telling her before we started recording that I was like, I've done my homework.
Such a good girl, Kristen. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. I'm like, who would have thought that's part of my kink?
Well, you might not get a punishment, but you might get a punishment.
Oh, okay. See, language queen.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I love all of that you bring into the space. Like, I think that's one of the first things that drew me to you and your work was like the blending of eroticism with like healing or spiritual or harmonization and fun and playfulness and all those things. It was like, I think I saw a video of you like maybe spanking or talking about this is for all the times that you weren't or never felt worthy or weren't worthy enough or something like that or felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, there's something to that. It piqued my curiosity. So I'm just pumped to explore that and more today.
I love it. I mean, I think people have seen kink in a really limited way for so long based on movies and television and the media. And there's so much richness and exploration and imagination. It's really sky's the limit. It depends on the individuals who are participating on how they really want to make it go and create. So I love using humor because I think humor is the lube of all things. And sometimes you're swallowing some like intimidating topics, like using some lightness and humor can go a really long way. And if we can't laugh at ourselves, then like we take ourselves too seriously in the bedroom, girl, you know?
In and out of the bedroom.
All the time.
I was actually thinking about that, like getting ready today. I'm like, if I can't laugh at myself or be playful, like I'm like, oh, spill. I'm like, I'm messy. I'm like, just laugh and clean it up later.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's such a good point. And like how, just to like kind of rewind a little bit, I guess, like how would you define like the conscious kink, or how does one even begin dipping their toe into looking at it with humor if their experience have no insight or
what the hell is this
stuff?
stuff?
Like conscious.
I know, because what comes to mind? Like what comes to mind for you? Like the whips, chains. I mean, what? I mean, you might have some more knowledge.
I'm a little
but
skewed,
initially,
but I think of intentionality.
Yeah, cool. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I think of presence. I think for me, I love playfulness. Like playfulness is my jam. Kink, taboo. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the Bible Belt, and so, but that was also always like, for me, it was like a pull. Mm-hmm. If you tell me I can't do something, makes me want to do it a little more.
Yeah. I can relate to that. Yes,
I feel like I'm blushing. Like I would listen to or watch Scrambled Skinamax and like be listening for footsteps coming down the hallway. Right. Like, are they going to catch me?
And it's that taboo nature, which is a part of the kink. It's that being turned on by what's taboo. And that can look so differently for each individual. It could be, listening to porn and being afraid your parents are going to walk in, right? And it could be doggy style, or it could be dirty talk, or it could be more than one partner simultaneously, right? Like it could be so many things, but it's the taboo nature that really gives the person the thrill. And that thrill is aliveness at the end of the day, the sense of being alive. It's like, ooh, we're doing the things we shouldn't be doing. And every like cell in my body is firing on all cylinders, and I feel like so present and alive and out of my fucking head, like I'm just in the moment. And what I think about conscious kink, which makes it a little different than regular kink, is that it's still being turned on by the taboo, but conscious kink is about consciousness, as the title suggests, also embodiment and intention. So the idea of doing conscious kink is that we value the connection over the experience. It's really about like, like how do we drop in? And
that
really
brings tears to my eyes.
Yeah, thank you. Me too, because there's so much heart available here. And I was one of the first sort of educators talking about having heart and bringing heart into your conscious kink scenes and into the erotic. And a lot of people were like, how do I have heart and spank someone or humiliate someone? Like, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, yeah, but you can feel the quality of connection through somebody's heart. You can really feel if someone is really with you in that moment and they're attuning to you and they're not just there to do a bunch of shit to you. They're there to really like connect and drop in and go deep, you know? And that's what conscious kink is about. You know, hopefully the residue of all play is a lot of pleasure, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the focus point. People do it for shadow play or shadow work. People do it to understand themselves better. People do it to drop into altered states of consciousness so they can have an expanded state and maybe look at their present situation in a different perspective. Like there's so many ways that you can use this tool because that's what it is. And people are so terrified of the tool of kink. And you know, I just did a post recently. It was an image of a circle of chairs with little white masks on each chair circling around a spanking bench. And I got like at least 350,000 views on this photo, but the mix of comments was really fascinating because people were just like, you're burning in hell, you know, versus like, oh my God, that's so exciting and thrilling. And to see like the mix of excitement with the fear and the judgment and the longing and all of these things simultaneously, it just really helps me to understand where we are in the state of this world. There's still so much confusion around sexuality. There's still so much stigma. There's still so much repression. And hopefully, slowly but surely, we can start having these conversations more openly so people can decide for themselves if it's something they want to explore.
Yeah, that's why I'm so glad to be
Thank
offering
you.
a
Thanks
conversation
for
today.
having me. So
Yeah,
important.
I'm just like, wow, where do I even go from there? It's what do you think that is making or makes people terrified of the kink space? Is it because it's unknown or
Yeah.
religious culture upbringing? Is it a sweet combination all coming from all different angles? Or because I feel like it brings so much online when you talk about those comments pinging, it's bringing like so many different varied perspectives. It's bringing so many different like emotions online, in the online space, but I meant like bubbling up to the surface, right?
Right.
So I'm like, what is it
It's
that,
definitely a combination. There's
yeah,
a cultural misunderstanding. There's,
mm-hmm,
you know, religion, of course, as
yeah,
you mentioned. And also a lot of the practices that you find in BDSM, when done unconsensually, are really uncomfortable. And a lot of people
mm-hmm,
who maybe have suffered any form of being dominated unconsensually, like from authority figures that they were not okay being dominated by and
yeah,
being submissive to. Also, pain. Most people do not want to feel uncomfortable or feel any pain. And it's hard for them to wrap their heads around actually leaning into the uncomfortable, leaning into the pain, and that the pain can actually be of service to you in some way. It could be a way of, yeah, getting out of your head. It can be a way of dropping into altered states of consciousness by releasing endorphins and serotonin and adrenaline and all of these things. Creates this little cocktail of aliveness for people. And there's these themes in life that are in kink, like themes of pleasure, pain, servitude, surrender, power, domination, submission. These are just parts of our everyday life. These are things we interact with all the time. But kink is about actually being conscious about playing with these things. Like, let's play with something like surrender. You know, we hear all the time, and these life coaches are like, surrender, surrender, right? And okay, I can logically understand what you mean by saying surrender, but how do I practice surrender? I could possibly ask a friend and say, like, hey, could you tie me up? And I can experience a little bit of immobilization to notice what happens. Does it bring up fear? Does it bring up something where I want to fight against it? Or do I actually feel relieved of responsibility where I actually feel held? And I actually feel like this is really nice to be relieved of responsibility. I can just lay here.
yeah.
You know, what happens? Yeah, so I see you taking a deep breath.
Yeah. When I think
Right?
about when we're visualizing that scenario, um, and just I'm like, yes, baby, put me in my feminine softness, and
Oh,
feeling that safe to just like
yeah.
unravel.
Yes, of
I'm
course.
like, yum.
Well, I'll tell you something, there's an ego death in that really, and in
Mm,
an ego death, there's a liberation.
mm,
So when we live our daily 9 to 5 lives and we have a certain, image that we think we need to portray to the world and to our families and to our coworkers, etcetera, being able to let go of all of that is releasing the ego and essentially going into the void of the unknown, and in the unknown is anything is
yeah,
possible.
I
I
love
can be anyone here. And the ego is all about the familiar at the end of the
mm,
day. So,
mm.
getting that opportunity with someone you trust and being able to have an experience like that, it can be so healing in and of itself to be like, wow, I don't have to confine myself to a certain ideal. I can actually explore all the many facets of who I am and see what comes out on the other side of that.
I like looking at it through that lens too, like being curious or discovering myself through different modalities or practices. Because if you have to wear one hat at work or something,
Right.
to me that's like a duplicitous kind of existence in some ways. Like, can I like get the opportunity to discover my authentic self, or
Mm.
play and find or be, if I have to, wear that hat, so much of my lifetime. So
Oh, yeah.
it sounds like a cool opportunity
My
for that.
mistress persona's name is Mistress Nina Payne, and I
Mm.
created Nina Payne back in 2002 when I started my journey as a
I was
dominatrix.
curious how it got started.
Yeah, yeah. So I used to be a DJ and I was invited to DJ at a fetish party, showed up at this event, looked around and said, these are my people. Oh shit. These are the things that are going on in my head all the time, asking boyfriends, like, can we try something? And they're like, why? And I saw these people just like so freely exploring in this way. And I met women there who were professional dominatrixes.
Mm.
So when I started that journey, they were curious around like, well, what kind of dom are you? What kind of mistress do you want to be? And I based my whole mistress persona after a character in a movie called Basic Instinct.
Oh, Sharon Stone, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Her character in that
Oh.
movie, Catherine Termel,
Can
like
she do
just
the
oh yeah, the
the
cross, yeah.
yeah.
Calm, cool, collected,
Okay.
always a few steps ahead, very smart, very sexy, very magnetic.
Mhm.
That was my mistress persona. And every once in a while in my day-to-day life, even today, I'll say like, I need to bring some Nina Payne into this mix right now
Mm.
because Nina Payne's not going to get flustered. Nina Payne doesn't care about what people think of her. And Nina
Mm.
Payne is not going to let her ego get in the way. She's going to play with whatever shows up in the
Mm.
moment. So even if, we pass on the street and you say something rude to me, my regular Kimmy might get all insecure and might
Mm.
feel a little off about it or get mad and want to fight you. But Nina Payne is going to laugh about it and say, oh, really? I think you have a crush on me, actually. I think you kind of like me, right? Like
Oh,
there's a completely different mindset. So playing with those archetypes and kink.
I just wrote down the word
Girl, yes.
archetype.
And I know you got one
I'm like,
inside of
how are you
you.
well, I was just thinking, I'm like, who do I want to
Tell me one of your
create?
archetypes. I want to know.
Um,
Don't be
mm,
shy.
I'm like, there's definitely like playfully exploring. I don't know if I've named one
Mm.
yet. Like, we can name her
You know what
today if we
I'm seeing
want.
for you?
Yeah, yes,
I'm
please.
seeing you like
Tell
as a
me.
soft little kitten that when you get tied up, you're just like, and you're just like surrendered and like, whatever, pet me and pamper me. And
Oh, I
that's
definitely
my
want some
projection,
goddess.
of
No, I
course,
definitely
though.
want some good, goddess devotional pampering. I love everything sensuality.
Love it.
I don't know what we're nicknaming her. Maybe Sloan. Sloan likes the sensual.
Ooh.
I don't know. We wrote that
Oh
down.
my gosh, sky's the limit, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you
But I
want.
like because whenever you were talking about, like the little girl, I was like, oh, because I am super sensitive. Like I would
Mm-hmm.
take maybe or get emotional or get my feelings hurt by
Sure.
something. So I like the idea of playing with an archetype that's like the more
Yeah.
fierce, or she wouldn't care or doesn't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. She's just, doing her
Totally. Well,
vibe
here's the
or thing
thing,
too.
Kristen, we can either be in Eros or we can be in our egos.
Mm,
And we can't be both at the same
mm,
time. So feeling into that, like, do I want to be in Eros, which is aliveness, full of possibility, deep connection to self and flow with life? Or do I want to be an ego, protected, defended, and in the familiar?
mm.
I want to be in Eros.
Yeah, for
And the
sure.
Eros is playing the connection game. It's like, yeah, I mean, happens to me all the time. These are things I work on, and my ego gets bruised and brushed up against all the time. And it takes me out of so much possibility. And sometimes I'll reflect and say, like, wow, I could have really turned that in a different direction. But
Mm.
thank God I have the opportunity to play with it repeatedly with play partners in the play space where I'm constantly strengthening
I don't
this
even know why I'm
muscle,
writing
girl.
down
Like,
this it.
we are,
I'm like
yes.
rewriting things in kink scenes or play.
I love
Yeah,
it. But I
yeah.
get to
So I'm
strengthen
like,
the
I'm not even
muscle.
really looking at my
Yeah.
yes. It's my questions.
Good.
And
Throw
so
it away.
I
Get rid of
know, yeah. But I was
it.
thinking, oh yes, rewriting because I had something happen
Tell
recently.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been something that I've wanted to talk about on here, because I'm an advocate for having those conversations around boundaries, fears, and desires.
Right.
And like for some reason, I either didn't expect this situation or scenario to happen, or in
Yeah.
my wildest, I didn't fathom that this would happen. And so I was receiving a massage, and
From professionally or
no,
personally?
just like a lover at the time, and and very sensual, and I have a lot of the sensual play, feathers and like metal chain. It just really helps me drop into my body. I love it.
Yeah.
I had my eyes closed. I thought he went to go get like a pinwheel thing,
Mm.
and then turned back around, and then all of a sudden I see that he had a butcher knife, and
Right.
and so that in some ways, and asked, "Do you trust me?" And I was like, "Okay, am I?" These questions ran through my head, like, "Am I this naive?
Mhm.
Do I've only known you a few months. I guess no, I don't trust you."
Right.
And old Kristen would have probably just, placated or kept the peace and kept the massage going.
Yeah.
So there was some growth in the fact that I was like,
Time
time
out.
out, stop.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. And I was like, cried. He listened as I like communicated some things.
Wow.
And there's now I'm having this navigation of what do I want to recreate that with someone and say what I really wanted to say then? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Or push back or
Sure.
whatever it is. Because, to me, I'm like, why? I'm trying to wrap my brain. I'm like, and what, ma'am, is that okay? Like, if
Hmm.
we had talked about this and we were going to role play,
Yeah.
and then I knew the parameters and you knew the parameters. I'm like, this is okay. This is not okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
I'm open-minded.
Totally.
And so, and it could have gone a completely different route versus me saying like, unfortunately, I don't know if I'll ever feel safe with you again. And it's completely shut off my erotic energy for you. It was like my body like repulsed and rejected him. And,
Hmm.
and now it's like,
How did he handle that? I'm
he
curious.
listened.
Okay.
He listened. And then since then we've had some conversations. I don't know if he has a full grasp on exactly how, like how it triggered me or how,
Sure.
yeah, or the sensitivity in that I have with that.
Deal. He's a man with a woman. I mean,
Yeah.
that runs deep ancestrally, even,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
multi-generationally. So the good for you for advocating for yourself and not placating and slipping into
Yeah.
fawn, perhaps, or
There
freeze.